911 location of your emergency?
Something is happening. Something happened in our house. We don't know what.
What is the address of the emergency?
1122.
What if everything you thought about the Idaho 4 murders was wrong? In 2025, a bombshell twist exposed Bryan Kohberger's innocence and revealed that the real killer is still walking free. Picture this: a quiet college town for students asleep, thinking they're home safe. Then, a killer slips in and everything changes. We all think our homes are our safe space, but this case? It makes you question everything. Was it Bryan Kohberger, a PhD student studying crime? Or is the truth still out there? Yo, welcome to the Whisper Stories, where we dive into true crime that keeps you up at night. And if you're obsessed with mysteries like me, you won't believe what's new with the Idaho murders blowing up X right now. Stick with me. You'll have your own theory by the end. Let's jump in. All right, let's set the scene. It's November 13th, 2022, in Moscow, Idaho, a small college town where everyone knows everyone. The University of Idaho is buzzing with students living their best lives. Think late-night study sessions, parties, that whole college vibe. Now, picture 4 students who were just like us back then. Kaylee Calvez, 21, loved photography and was always snapping pics of her dog, Murphy. Madison Mogan, also 21, was that friend whose smile lit up every room. Xana Kernodle, 20, was a free spirit with the biggest dreams. And Ethan Chapin, 20, was a basketball star, the guy who'd have your back no matter what. These were real people, not just headlines. Imagine their family's pain. They were living in this off-campus house on King Road. Kind of like the house, you know? The safe space where you crash after a night out, feeling invincible. Think about your college days. That's what this house was to them. But around 4 a.m., everything changes. Someone slips into the house. No forced entry. No screams heard. By morning, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan are gone, stabbed to death in their beds. The killer vanishes, leaving nothing but fear. This wasn't just a crime. It shattered Moscow. Students fled campus. Neighbors locked their doors, and the whole town was asking, who could do this? If you've been following this case on X or TikTok, you know it's everywhere. Have you followed it from the start? Drop a comment below. Also tell us what shocked you most about this. So, let's talk about the guy at the center of this nightmare, Bryan Kohberger. Picture this: 28 years old, a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, just 10 miles from Moscow, Idaho. He wasn't some local kid. He's from Pennsylvania, but he's close enough to the crime scene to make your skin crawl. This guy wasn't just studying math or history. He was diving deep into how criminals think. Like, he was obsessed with the criminal mind. He had a bachelor's in psychology and a master's in criminal justice from DeSales University in Pennsylvania, where he studied under a famous criminologist who wrote books about serial killers. That's not creepy at all, right? But it gets weirder. Back in April 2022, Kohberger posted a survey on Reddit, asking convicted criminals to spill the tea on their crimes. He wrote, "Tell me the story behind your most recent offense, your thoughts, your feelings." Some people on X are like, was he researching to kill? Was this his playbook? I mean, a criminology student studying murderers? It's like a horror movie plot come to life. We've all met someone who gave us bad vibes, but Kohberger? He's got people wondering if he was hiding in plain sight this whole time. Now, let's talk about how he acted, because this is where it gets chilling. Classmates at Washington State said he was awkward, intense, always tried to fit in but never quite pulling it off. One grad student, Ben Roberts, told the Associated Press Kohberger was confident, quick to share his opinions, but also super awkward, like he was forcing it. He was a teaching assistant for undergrad criminology classes. But get this, less than 2 weeks before the murders, the professors had a meeting about his behavior. They were worried enough to fire him from that role by December 19th, 2022, because of how he was acting. Red flags much? And then there's this. Kohberger allegedly messaged one of the victims, Kaylee Calvez, on Instagram weeks before the murders. No one knows what he said, but the timing? Coincidence or straight-up obsession? After the killings, a neighbor in Pullman said Kohberger brought the murders in a casual chat, saying, "Seems like they have no leads. Probably a crime of passion." This was days after crime, before details were even public. Was he fishing for info or just playing it cool? Oh, and his background? It's not just academic. Kohberger grew up in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, graduated from Pleasant Valley High School in 2013, and worked as a part-time security guard for the same school district, even helping save someone's life during an asthma attack in 2018. Sounds like a good guy, right? But then you hear about his quirks. A 2025 court filing revealed he has autism spectrum disorder, showing rigid thinking and impulsive tendencies, like obsessive hand-washing and an intense stare that creep people out. His lawyers say this explains his odd vibe, but prosecutors? They're not buying it. They say he's a calculated killer. And get this, some on X think he killed to impress his forensic psychology professor, a wild theory from a 2025 report. No proof, but it's got people talking. Here's where it all comes crashing down. December 2022, police start zeroing in on Kohberger. They spot his white Hyundai Elantra on surveillance footage, circling near the King Road house the night of the murders. That car's a big deal. It was seen multiple times. And Kohberger got a new license plate for it just 5 days after killings. Trying to cover his tracks? Then, they find a leather knife sheath on one of the victim's beds with his DNA on it. A single source match. That's huge. Phone records show his cell pinged near the house at least 12 times in the month before, often late at night. On November 13th, his phone went dark from 2:47 a.m. to 4:48 a.m., right around the murder window. Sketchy, right? By December 30th, the FBI and Pennsylvania police swoop in, arresting him at his parents' house, 2,500 miles from Moscow. He's in the kitchen, wearing gloves, sorting trash into Ziploc bags, looking calm. Too calm. His lawyer said he was shocked, but believed he'd be exonerated. Yeah, okay. This guy's story is straight out of a true crime documentary. A student studying crime becomes a criminal? It's the kind of twist that makes your stomach drop. We've all wondered about that one person who seemed off. Was Kohberger that guy for real? So, what do you think he was planning? Was he a mastermind playing a long game, or just a weird dude in the wrong place? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I'm dying to hear your take. Okay, so Kohberger's in the spotlight, but what's the evidence that's got everyone pointing at him? Let's break it down, because this is where it gets heavy. First up, the DNA. At the crime scene, police found a leather knife sheath right on one of the victim's beds. And guess what? It had Kohberger's DNA on it. A single source match, not some random mix. Prosecutors are screaming. This is a direct link. I mean, how you explain your DNA on a sheath at a murder scene? That's pretty damning, right? They use investigative genetic genealogy to trace it back to him, cross-checking with his family's DNA from trash pulled outside his parents' house in Pennsylvania. It's like something out of a CSI episode, but it's real life. Next, there's his car, a white Hyundai Elantra. Surveillance cameras caught it circling the King Road house multiple times that night, around 4 a.m. Why was a PhD student from 10 miles away driving loop around a college party house at that hour? It's not like he was grabbing late-night tacos. And get this, just 5 days after murders, Kohberger switched his license plate. Innocent move or covering his tracks. Then there's the phone data, and this one's a biggie. Kohberger's cell phone pinged near the King Road house at least 12 times in the months leading up to the murders, often super late at night. We're talking 3 a.m., times when most people are asleep, not cruising Moscow. On November 13th, 2022, the night of the killings, his phone went completely dark from 2:47 a.m. to 4:48 a.m., right when the murders happened. Coincidence? Or was he making sure no one could track him? Prosecutors say this screams stalking, like he was watching the house, planning his move. And let's not forget the eyewitness. Surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen told police she saw a figure clad in black leaving the house around 4:20 a.m. with bushy eyebrows, which matches Kohberger's description. That's chilling. Now the public, they're furious. If you're on X or TikTok, you've seen the hashtag Idaho4 posts lighting up. One X user called Kohberger a monster who deserves a death penalty. And that's just a vibe out there. People are raging, saying the evidence is a slam dunk. The victims' families are right there with them. Kaylee Goncalves' dad, Steve, told CBS News in March 2025, "If he did what he did to our daughter to the others, then he deserves to die." They're convinced the DNA, the car, the phone pings. It's overwhelming. And it's not just them. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffin Daffer posted on X in April 2025, tearing into Kohberger's autism defense, saying the brutality of the crime shows he's guilty, no question. We all want answers when something this awful happens, right? The evidence feels rock solid, like justice is just around the corner. But hold up, here's the flip side, because it's not that simple. No murder weapon has ever been found. No knife, no nothing, even after police search rivers, woods, you name it. Then there's the motive, or lack of one. Why would a PhD student with no criminal record snap and kill 4 strangers? Nobody knows, and that's got some people raising eyebrows. On X, a few folks are like, what if the DNA was planted or mishandled? Kohberger's defense team is all over this. They're saying the genetic genealogy used to ID him is shaky, maybe even unconstitutional. They've been fighting to toss out the DNA evidence, claiming cops botched the investigation. And get this, some reports say Kohberger's phone wasn't exactly at the house during the murders, just nearby, which his lawyers say can mean anything. It's enough to make you wonder. Have you ever doubted a slam dunk case? Like, what if there's a twist we're not seeing? This evidence is a roller coaster. Y'all, it's got people ready to lock Kohberger up forever. But those little cracks keep the debate alive. If you're scrolling X, you know everyone's got an opinion on this. So, tell me, does the DNA convince you that Kohberger's guilty, or is something off here? Drop your take in the comments, because I need to know what you're thinking. Alright, we've laid out the case against Kohberger and it's intense, but let's flip it for a second. What if he's not the guy? There's a small but loud group out there saying this case isn't as airtight as it seems, and we've got to talk about it. First, Kohberger's defense team is coming in hot, saying the DNA evidence, the big gotcha moment, is shaky. They're arguing that investigative genetic genealogy, the fancy tech used to link Kohberger's DNA to that knife sheath, isn't foolproof. It's like a family tree puzzle, not a smoking gun, and they've been fighting hard to toss it out. In January 2025, they told Judge Stephen Hippler it might even violate Kohberger's privacy rights, claiming cops overstepped by digging into DNA databases like MyHeritage and GeneMatch. The judge shut that down in February, saying it was legal, but the defense isn't giving up. They're still saying it's not 100% reliable. Could the DNA be a false lead? It's got some people wondering. Then there's the whole trial vibe, and it's raising eyebrows. Secret hearings and a strict gag order have kept so much of this case under wraps. And people on X are like, what are they hiding? Seriously, check out the hashtag Idaho 4 posts. Some folks think the police rushed to pin this on Kohberger to calm a panicked town. Back in June 2023, an X-user at a Burkhart law dropped a bombshell, saying the defense had evidence that critically undermines the idea that Kohberger's guilty. We don't know all the details because of the gag order, but it's enough to make you go, The defense has also hinted at sloppy police work, like how they ignored DNA from an unknown male be found under Madison Mogen's fingernail. They're saying cops locked onto Kohberger and stopped looking at other suspects. We've all seen cases where the obvious suspect turned out to be innocent. Could this be one of those? Now, let's get into the autism angle, because this one's sparking major debate. Kohberger's lawyers revealed in a March 2025 filing that he has autism spectrum disorder, level 1, high functioning, no intellectual issues. They say explains his odd behavior, like that intense stare or wearing gloves while sorting trash before his arrest. They're arguing it's why he seems off, not because he's a killer. They even tried to get the death penalty thrown out, saying autism makes him less culpable and that executing him would be cruel and unusual under the 8th Amendment. But the victims' families? They're not having it. Kaylee Goncalves' dad told CBS News in March 2025, "That's a distraction. We want justice, not excuses." On X, people are split. Some call it a desperate defense ploy, while others say it's a real factor. It's a moral dilemma that hits hard. Should his diagnosis change how we see him, or is it totally irrelevant to the crime? The public divide is wild. Most people on X are ready to throw the book at Kohberger, but there's a small crew, like at King_Scarlet_, in a May 2025 post, saying there's no direct proof he was in the house. No fingerprints, no blood on him, no eyewitness putting him at the exact scene. They're asking, what if he's a scapegoat in a botched investigation? The defense claims Kohberger was stargazing alone that night, and they've teased phone data to back it up, though they haven't shown it yet. Back in July 2023, at 9:01 Lulu, on X posted that Kohberger's team had evidence corroborating he was elsewhere, but the gag order keeps us in the dark. It's enough to make you question everything. Judge Hippler is trying to cut through the noise. He said in March 2025, the public deserves to know what's happening, pushing for more transparency. But with the trial still months away, we're left guessing. This case is a maze, y'all. The doubts are small but loud, and they keep the mystery alive. We've all binge-watched a true crime doc, where the truth wasn't what it seemed. Could Kohberger be the twist we didn't see coming? So, do you buy the defense's story, or is it just noise to dodge the evidence? Let's know what you think. Alright, let's fast forward to May 2025. Why is this case still blowing up? For one, the trial's been pushed back again, and people are losing it. It's now set for August 11, 2025 in Boise, and fans on X are screaming for justice. One post I saw was like, another secret hearing? What are they hiding? It's wild. Court documents from March 2025 show both sides keep filing stuff under seal, and the gag orders got everyone in the dark. If you're scrolling X or TikTok, you've seen the hashtag Idaho 4 posts. They're everywhere. Then there's new evidence dropping, and it's intense. Rumors about Kaylee Goncalves' injuries are circulating, with her dad, Steve, saying on Fox News in March 2025 that she was trapped in a corner, her facial wounds so brutal they could have been fatal alone. That's haunting, and X-users are saying it could sway a jury. There's even talk of a big secret in the case. Crisis manager Wendy Feldman told In Touch Weekly in March 2025 that bombshells are coming. What does that mean? Nobody knows, but it's got TikTok buzzing with theories. From a second killer to Kohberger's motives being tied to his criminology studies. If you're a true crime fan like me, you can't let this go. There's always one more twist. This isn't just a crime anymore. It's a phenomenon. 3 years later, we're all still glued to it, trying to crack it like we're detectives. What's the wildest hashtag Idaho 4 theory you've seen online? Drop it in the comments. So let's wrap this up. The Idaho murders case has it all. Tragedy, a creepy suspect, and secrets we might never unravel. Is Bryan Kohberger a cold-blooded killer, or is there more to this story? I'm torn, y'all. The DNA on that knife sheath is hard to ignore, but those secret hearings and no murder weapon? Super sketchy. What do you think? For Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan, justice is still on hold. Their families deserve answers, and honestly, so do we. Their lives were cut short in the most heartbreaking way. Kaylee was about to graduate and move to Texas. Maddie was a ride or die since 6th grade. Xana was a free spirit, and Ethan was a glue for everyone. This case hits different because it could have been any of us in that college house. Thinking we're safe. We're all chasing the truth here, and that's why we're in this together. If you're as hooked on this case as I am, hit that subscribe button to the Whisper Stories. We're diving into more true crime like this every single week. Like this video, share with your true crime crew, and comment below. Is Kohberger guilty, or is something else going on? I'm reading every single one, I promise. Oh, and don't forget to share this on X with hashtag Idaho to keep the convo going. Next week, I'm tackling another case that's blowing up X. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Let's keep digging for the truth.